Bandle Tale, a League of Legends story, was one of the most anticipated cozy games for this year, and well, let's just say it's not quite what I was expecting. If you're not into fetch quests, this game might not be for you. Bandle Tale, developed by Lazy Bear Games, throws you into a charming world of Bandle City, where you play as a timid yordle living in a quaint town of Yarnville. Picture this, a cozy isolated island where knitting is practically a way of life, but when your never-ending apprenticeship finally wraps up, you're itching to explore beyond the portals that connect Yarnville to the rest of Bandle City. But of course, things never go according to plan. A party gone bad leads to the collapse of the portals, plunging everything into chaos. Now, armed with your knitting magic and trusty backpack house, it's up to you to restore the portals and bring peace back to Bandle City. As you journey through 5 vibrant new islands, you'll gather materials for your crafts, awaken magical portals, and throw epic festivals to keep your fellow yordles happy. Whether you're showing off your green thumb with a farm to table dishes or flexing your engineering skills with gadgets, there's never a dull moment in Bandle Tale. So let's break it down. Bandle Tale consists of main elements like resource gathering, crafting, hosting meals, and parties, but then also being a merchant. When it comes to resource gathering, there are plenty of items to gather. I found their regeneration element quite nice, and it kind of helped with the pacing of the game. Additionally, the game also offers a variety of tools tailored to specific types of gathering. However, as I got deeper into the game, there were moments where I found myself struggling to locate specific items I needed for crafting, which kind of left me frustrated. In these instances, I often had to rely on a skill tree or to search things up to find where were the resources I needed. Crafting in Bandle Tale initially felt accessible and rewarding, offering a straightforward introduction to the mechanics, which I enjoyed. However, as I got further into the game, I encountered some obstacles in acquiring specific materials, and it became a more daunting task, which kind of added to a level of challenge to the crafting process, but I'm not too sure that I liked that. Additionally, while the introduction of the auras brought depth to the mechanics, it also left me with moments of confusion and frustration as I was trying to figure out their effects and how to integrate them. Dreams play a crucial role in Bandle Tale. When my emotions reserve ran low, my progression stalled, kind of making my ability to level up the skill tree and explore new avenues of gameplay a lot more difficult. Fortunately, hosting parties presented a nice alternative for replenishing emotions and offering a relief for demands of resource gathering. Once you drain all the emotions from a certain activity, you don't get any more from it for the rest of the game, which I did not like this. Advancing through Bandle Tale heavily relies on actively gathering resources, crafting, or hosting parties. Neglecting these aspects made advancing through the skill tree and gameplay overall much more difficult. I found some of these items in the skill tree were quite expensive, which made the game overall feel pretty grindy at times. But when it came to hosting meals in Bandle Tale, players have to select specific meals that have appropriate machines to cook them, and however, my initial attempts were not the greatest. I didn't make any meals I needed to because I was confused on how it all worked. They could have added a more guided tutorial here, where I know a lot of us gamers don't care to be reading tons of text in tutorials, but also it wasn't immediately clear that a specific aura was required to cook certain meals, which kind of caught me off guard and led me to kind of scrambling about trying to figure out what the issue was. This unexpected hurdle added an extra layer of challenge to the meal hosting mechanic, requiring careful planning and resource management. When it comes to parties in Bandle Tale, there's a lot involved. While parties provided an enjoyable challenge, they required careful planning and execution. Ensuring that the guests were fed before hosting was crucial for the success of each event. Moreover, each party had unique requirements. At the end of the event, you would get dreams, which would help you level up the skill tree. This really highlights how interconnected everything in the game was. Managing these aspects added to the depth of the party mechanics and made it feel like each event was distinct and rewarding. As for the merchant system, it provided a fun and engaging way to earn currency by crafting and selling specific items. I particularly enjoyed the clever addition of the icon system, which made it easy to identify which items you can craft and that were sellable. Then I would go and spend my stars on seeds or at the various shops. Now let's talk about the learning curve. At the start, everything kind of felt just right. You know, like the tutorials were super helpful and I was really getting into the groove, but then as I kept playing, it felt like someone hit the fast forward button and suddenly I was scrambling around trying to figure out what I needed to do next. And don't even get me started on how they throw all these new worlds at you out of nowhere. And you have to tackle each one because they rely on each other, resulting in you having to work embark on multiple quests at once. The rapid pace and lack of clear guidance here really left me feeling overwhelmed at times and detracting from the otherwise enjoyable experience. However, the further that you progress, the more I found myself having to look a ton of stuff up because I had no idea what to do, and I honestly hate having to look things up. But also, here's this thing: there's such a long stretch from the beginning to the end event to figure out where your friend is, and during these lulls, I found myself kind of forgetting why I was even there or what the big picture was. However, there was this moment where you head back to Yarnville, and it's like a warm and happy feeling, kind of seeing all those familiar faces again. It really hit me in the feels. When it comes to character development, the dialogue really comes alive during these quests. It's like you're peeling back layers and getting to know them on a whole new level. But once the quest is over, it's kind of like the chatter just disappears. Now, when it comes to the art style, I'm a huge fan of their pixel art style. I loved how colorful and vibrant the world was. The attention to detail and the pixel art brought the world to life, and I found myself immersed in its charm. From the small animals scurrying about to the nicely decorated areas, every element contributed to the game's charm. And then there's the music and audio elements in the game. I'm a huge fan of music, and I was delighted on how it complemented the gameplay. Additionally, the subtle action sounds like gathering resources will further immerse you in the game world, making it truly enjoyable. As content and replayability, Bandle Tale offers an abundance of gameplay. Unlike many crafting RPGs that heavily focus on farming mechanics, Bandle Tale is refreshing. Personally, as someone who's quite burnt out from farming games, Bandle Tale was a welcome change of pace. With approximately 40 to 60 hours of gameplay for only $25, the value is undeniable. Whether you're into the main storyline or exploring the various side quests and activities, there's plenty of content to keep you entertained for hours on end. I played the majority of the game on my Steam Deck, although I initially started it on my PC. I noticed a huge difference in the viewing experience between the two platforms. On PC, the views offer a much wider perspective of the world, which made it kind of hard to see things, and it may be similar to the experience on the Nintendo Switch. I'm not quite sure on that though. However, it would be nice if the game kind of included a zoom in and out option, allowing us to kind of customize our viewing experience based on our preferences and the device that we're playing on. While I enjoyed the initial gameplay of Bandle Tale, I became frustrated with the pacing and the complexity later on, the rapid introduction of new islands, and the never-ending quests. However, despite some of these flaws, Bandle Tale's strengths lie in its charming world, engaging storyline, and diverse gameplay mechanics, including resource gathering, crafting, cooking, hosting parties, and managing the emotions. It's complemented by its captivating pixel art style, and so I would give it a solid 7 out of 10. So if you're a fan of cozy crafting RPGs with a unique twist, Bandle Tale is definitely worth checking out. Let me know in the comments below if you're excited to explore Bandle Tale, and until next time, so happy gaming!